What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Now is Rebecca becoming impotent? And did George finally get his shine? Stay tuned and find out.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey. This just makes me so happy. I don't know why. All the time.
It's just a dancing song.
It's a dancing song. I love it. But you guys, you are not getting rickrolled right now. We are back live here, and I'm back here with you guys. It is the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Y'all gonna wild out? Okay, I see it. All right, and we have a special guest today, guys, so let's just get into it really quick. As you guys know, my name is Nino Llanera. You can catch me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Right next to me, we have Miss Briana Phipps.
Hi, guys. You can find me at bphipps14 on Twitter and Instagram, bphipps1214 on Snapchat.
And right next to her is Trene.
Hey, you guys. It's your girl, Trene. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at your girl, Trene.
And right next to her, we have Miss Renee Ariel.
Hey, guys. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
And our special guest, you are not getting rickrolled right now. This is Steve Monroe.
Hey, thanks you guys for having me. I'm really grateful to AFTERBUZZ TV and you, Nino, and Briana, and Renee, and Trene for having me. Flipped it. Excuse me.
Keeping us on our toes.
But I'm grateful to be here. You can follow me on Twitter at SteveMo333. You can fan Facebook me at actor Steve Monroe. You can visit my webpage for my psychotherapy at stephenmonroe.net. And we have a charity called the Unseen People Coalition, Unseen People Coalition on Facebook.
Very nice. He's a busy man. Can you tell? Can you tell? But I'm so excited to have you here because I told you before we actually went on air that I grew up watching you. From Sister to all these other things in between. I've grown up watching you. So when Briana said you were
I'm sorry.
No.
That's a journey.
No, not at all. It's been great. It's been great. And when Briana told me you were coming on, I was really, really excited to have you here, just to bring everything, full circle, and just talk about your character and that you're a psychotherapist.
Well,
okay.
So this show really has...
right. The crazy. I filter it all through the lens of psychotherapy.
During your sessions, you're just like, look, I went through this on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
That's exactly right.
I know exactly what it is.
Because the way we go here, the way we analyze it and we go far, I told you I went to school for psychology. When I watch it, I'm like, there's so much going on here.
Yeah.
So many complexes left and right. So I can just imagine what you think when you actually watch it after you film the episode, or even just read the script in general.
A lot of beautiful illness.
A lot of people.
Wow, that's a good way to
Poetic illness.
Yeah. Poetic. Trene is kind of like our doctor here, our love doctor.
Okay.
So.
I give a little
and
advice
I'm on the
to
couch
our viewers,
here.
So your roles are flipped right now.
That's right. That's right. I'm the client.
Are you the client today?
And I feel very vulnerable sitting on the couch.
We're going to ask you all the Scots.
We're going to get into Scott's character because, Scott's been doing some stuff. So we're gonna get there, definitely.
And I just want to do a quick thing. I'm in the chat room right now for everyone that's chatting along with us. I want to do a shout out to Jim Jam, who's been singing the Santa Ana Wind song in our chat. We also have Flower Girl 1444. So chat along with us. Let us know what you guys thought, or if you have any questions for Steve, just send them out and we'll ask him.
Perfect. Well, this is a perfect episode with the Santa Ana winds and the crazy weather we've been having. I think this is really appropriate.
Uncanny.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very weird. I'm not going to sing it because my voice is out right now. We'll come back into that next week.
The end of the sicknesses that have been going around.
At the end of the sickness is going around, right. But let's get into the episode, guys. Rebecca's ringing in the ring. Totally.
Oh my God.
In the beginning of this episode, right?
I mean, gosh.
And gosh.
Look at me ring.
Yes.
Oh my God. Look at my ring. Look how great my ring looks.
I like she puts it right on his face.
Right on George's face. If he wasn't just forgotten enough.
Oh,
Feel
George.
so bad
Gus?
for him.
Gus or George? That's right. Well, she's excited about that. She obviously should be. She's been chasing this for the longest time.
For the longest
time.
Now she has it.
Wait. But how long has she actually been chasing it? Not to be the bearer. Like, she was in love with him back in high school, and then she moved on right away.
Those details.
I'm just saying, it's been maybe a year and a half.
And some change.
Now she's engaged. Look, it all worked out.
Well, some people get engaged within a year of dating.
Yeah,
right?
and she said, we've known each other for 11 years. Technically, I guess they haven't known each other for 11 years.
No, because they haven't been in each other's lives for most of that.
She's created all kinds of memories that never existed in her mind with Josh over in the intermittent years between the camp and having.
So she has She has stories in her head. That she could tell her
Stories in
children.
her head.
Well, like, I mean, look at all her musical numbers that come out of her head.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, she probably, like, thinks all of those have actually happened, potentially.
Obviously, it works for her. She's got the mind over matter way of thinking.
Mind over
and
matter, right.
Thoughts
Mhm.
become
Does.
things.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Just put it out in the universe and things will
Yeah,
happen,
and
right?
look at it. Got her ring.
Somebody must have
Ladies.
put it out in the universe for Mrs. H to keep on talking because Mrs. H
I
keeps
was
on
so
talking.
happy that
All
she
right. She has a very beautiful economy of language that she
I love
needn't
it.
say much without and still speak volumes.
Exactly. One line can mean so much to Mrs. H.
But we had the whole
love it.
discussion of,
Rich.
are they going to have her keep talking, or are
Right.
they going to go back to her being silent? So I like that they have her keep talking.
Well, we know.
Me too, because it really shows that Rebecca was like really not paying attention to her before if she was ever speaking. So now we get to see her actually speaking.
I love it. I'm all for it. Like I told you guys like 2 episodes ago. Let's just keep it going. I like the little one-liners here, though.
Me too.
But can we talk about Karen really quick before we move on? Karen's been all over this episode.
Right?
With the
And
devil wins.
Winds of Diablo.
Winds of Diablo.
Beautiful.
I
She's
love her.
She's
hilarious.
fantastic. My goodness.
How is it working with her?
You know, I haven't been in any scenes with her.
That's right, that's
Oddly,
right.
the few the scenes that I've been in have almost invariably involved Donna Lynn.
Right,
who's
Paula,
just
Paula, yeah.
a dream. I love working with her. She is, besides being a powerhouse talent,
Right.
she is so gracious and so welcoming and so amenable to working and playing together that just a dream.
Makes
That
your
is
job
awesome.
super easy.
Right, but we were stuck in the kitchen for most of the first, all of the first season. No, we
Yeah.
went out on to throw the rock
Yeah,
through
you
the
got to go to
window.
Becca's apartment.
But
first.
otherwise,
that
we're like in the
episode.
kitchen.
The kitchen's good. The kitchen ended really well for this episode.
Yeah.
Right,
You know?
they're back at home again. But I thoroughly enjoyed working with Pete Gardner, who just cracks me up.
I love him.
Just fantastic. But otherwise, to answer your question, I haven't worked with Stephanie Weir, which is
Have you been with her around on set
at
at
a
all?
party. I
party, okay.
bumped into her and let her know of my appreciation of her just remarkable talents because she cracks me
She's
up.
great. She kills it.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
She
She's
kills
so
it.
ridiculous.
Well, anyway, so let's move on to Nathaniel. In this
I love
boardroom
Nathaniel.
situation. Dreamy Nathaniel.
Oh.
He is.
Renee.
Yeah.
Were you happy with this episode, Renee?
Oh yeah, this was like my favorite.
When he popped out and singing, you probably were like,
Oh my gosh, the Ed Sheeran parody, that was
Oh,
fantastic.
I didn't get Ed Sheeran. I got
John Mayer.
Mayer.
Ah,
I
that's
thought it was
right.
the Ed Sheeran music video.
Maybe it was.
It could have been the Ed Sheeran
that's-
music video, but the John
The
Mayer
song reminded me of John
song.
Mayer.
The song reminded me of Ed Sheeran's song as well.
Maybe they're similar.
What is the one called? Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun.
baby,
Yeah, that one.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
gonna bug
you
me
started
now.
off that
See,
so
mine
right.
was Dreaming of a Broken Heart, John Mayer.
Oh, I see how.
Dreaming with a- Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the Ed Sheeran song
It could
as
be
well.
both. It could
But
be
the
both.
music
It's
video,
an
have you?
homage to both.
yeah,
Both of them.
it can be both. But
You
Nonetheless.
can all be right.
You can relate to it no matter what.
Right.
You,
It's true.
Nathaniel he's such that just that thought process of people
so
who are
mean.
dating in specifically LA.
Yeah.
He was so LA, just like when he said you're shackled to one person for eternity, and he's like, no one likes a needy whore. Like that
Pause
was
and
a bit much.
no, the meanest thing was when he's like, oh, is that why you actually look half decent? Because normally you look like a librarian looks in real life. I was just like, dude.
And then he all of a sudden liked her when he saw
Her
her
boobas.
blouse pop open.
Her heavy boobs.
Yeah, because of the Santa Ana winds.
Her socks
Predicted
feel
by
like
Gavin
that.
Johnson.
He's the id in the embodiment of the psycho, the id
of
versus the ego or the super ego.
right.
true.
Yes. Oh gosh, here we go.
Oh,
I also took some psych classes as well.
yeah, see, you know.
I do know. He really is though.
And what's great about this too is we also have people who are like psychologists or psychotherapists who have who have emailed Trene or whatnot, and people that watch the show quite a lot for these small innuendos that have been placed in
The innuendos.
the innuendos.
You're like, oh my gosh, I totally watch it and I write notes and diagnose each character.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
But so okay, so let's move on a little bit. Daryl listens actively from far away when Rebecca, after the meeting, talks about how happy she is with her engagement or whatnot, and Paula starts asking these questions to her though that have her start thinking and have me start thinking: is Rebecca lying to have a happily ever after right now? Because these goosies are not happening, guys. The goosies are not there.
Because Becca's all about the chase. She wanted the chase. Like, she didn't think that's what she wanted, but
that's what she wants.
Because even last time that she had Josh, like, technically he was still kind of on the fence about it and kind of half foot out the door, so she was still kind of chasing.
He was emotionally unavailable. Now he's emotionally available, like, till death do us part. She's like, whoa, I don't know if I think goosebumps are gone.
And that's it speaks to the kind of messiness of love, if you will, that Paula and Scott share, which is truly messy, given my infidelity and her intrigue with others. But I think it's the pervasiveness of Rebecca's illusion about love juxtaposed with the reality of love and marriage, which is,
it's basically
cleaning poopy diapers and snot on your sleeve, and my wife waking up at 3 times a night to attend to our girls. Like, the goosebumps are different when you're married. So
right.
Which I think is what's really compelling about her her coming down to earth and reality with regard to her feelings for Josh.
It's like the goosebumps won't necessarily mean the kiss on the neck or whatnot. It could be
there's the honeymoon stage, which you get the constant like fluttery in the stomach, and you're always super excited to see the person. But then, there's the after where you don't necessarily get those feelings all the time, but you get the like nice comfortability. You get the person that you can talk and tell anything to.
Those
it's
feelings
different.
could end up later.
That's true.
In my class we called it like the love cocktail, and the lifespan of the love cocktail is like 6 months to 2 years. Unless it's a secret affair, then it can last longer. And then once those feelings are over with, you either remain with the person and like are miserable. You break up with the person because you're like, I don't feel like we're in love anymore, even though it's just because it's shifted into what could be real love, which is when you like accept the person for who they are, regardless of if you have those butterfly feelings or not anymore. You love that person, you want to be with that person because it's like a partnership.
Well, and you can do new things once you've been in a relationship for a while. You can keep it like spicy and stuff. You just have to go a little further. You have to try a little harder.
Make the effort.
Well, and the goosebumps could be like you said, waking up at 4 a.m. just to change a diaper so that your partner doesn't have to later on. You know what I mean? It could become like that.
Great that you said that, because it becomes less about a feeling and more about an intention and an action.
Exactly. There you go.
Like that.
Someone in our chat room said goosebumps equals animal instinct.
Animalistic
and he
instinct.
kept comparing himself to an animal and how we're animals because
we're animals, we're not meant to be with one
barbaric.
person.
Oh.
Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Quite barbaric.
I mean, that's what
Quite
he kept
barbaric.
saying. He kept saying, like, we're meant for the chase. We're not meant to be in long-standing relationships. Like,
He's just not meant to be in this.
or he just
long-standing
hasn't found a person, or he's gotten his heart broken before, and so now this is his thought. I don't know. We could find out lots about Nathaniel's past.
And we could pick apart his perspective on animal instincts and polygamy, perhaps. But when you think about it, if you want to get scientific, from the perspective of natural selection, offspring have a far better chance of surviving, not only surviving but thriving, when they are in a family where the parents stay together.
Right, definitely. Okay.
So if you want to, look at it from the perspective of we are animals and a natural selection perspective, to ensure the offspring and the propagation of the species, kids, typically or more, survive and even thrive again, like I said, with parents who are committed in a monogamous relationship.
Right.
So,
and that's what gets people to stay together longer too, even if they have problems. They look at their kids, right? And they think they want to push more for that, so then they can have a much healthier upbringing in a sense or whatnot.
But I think there is a difference between staying with each other for your kids or staying with each other. Like, you know, there's people that can work it out and stay together for their kids and they can still be happy. But if you're miserable and just staying together for your kids, that's also just not a healthy thing, because then your kids are growing up seeing this like
Tension.
dysfunction, tension,
Yeah.
and then that's kind of how they apply life in their relationships in the future. So
Right.
it's
They repeat the
iffy line.
patterns. They repeat the patterns.
Right. But so let's get into something a little bit more lighthearted.
That was deep.
That was super deep, guys.
It's a really good therapy session.
So now moving on.
I actually have a question before we get into the doo-wop song, because I love that. A 2-year engagement, is that too long?
No.
Or is that too
No.
short?
It depends on what
do you
kind of
think?
It depends on what kind of wedding you want, because I do wedding coordination. I do event planning as a job outside of this company, and depending on the wedding you want, 2 years is plenty. Like, that's what the time you need to get the wedding you want, depending on where you want to have it. Like she did in there, you know, it's not always available. If you want to settle for something else, then you can do it quicker. But I'd say the average wedding is about a year to year and a half to plan.
So
Yeah.
if people are scared, here's another question. If people are scared that the 2 years of engagement is just way too long, and they want to lock it up like Rebecca, really, really quick, is there a problem in that situation?
Yes.
They're too eager. Maybe they think that if 2 years goes out, it's going to proceed to 5 years, or, you know, something's going to happen along the way
between
that
time.
can
It depends. Yeah, it
ruin
depends
the whole thing.
on what your reasoning of why you're
Yeah.
scared of that 2 years.
But if
feel
you're
like-
worried something's going to ruin it, I mean, then maybe you really should wait it out, because you're committing to each other forever. That's my thing, is like, what's the rush? Like, if you're ready to get engaged, and then if you think 2 years is too long, maybe you should like
Plus,
reconsider.
2 years for them will be perfect time, because, you know, they've been dating for, what did we say, like less than a month?
Like a month.
A month at most. So 2 years would give them the time to see, can we work together as a couple
Sure.
long term, rather than just in this honeymoon period.
They haven't even had like a fight yet in this new relationship.
Well, it looks like, not to jump the gun, but they might next week.
They might not. They might next week.
We predict things very well here, so like we said.
You are prophetic. I understand.
We predicted all the infidelity that's happened
I
in
thought-
the last couple seasons.
We have
I
Flower Girl,
thought
sorry, when Flower Girl 444 said it depends also in the goals if you plan to buy a house or construct one after marriage or before.
There's a lot of different
True.
factors.
Because
Good
money
point.
is a huge factor with weddings.
That's a good point.
But again,
true.
Rebecca has no problem spending money like that.
Yeah,
so.
seriously.
I'll pay for it.
I didn't think Scott was going to cheat. I thought he was going to get super close to cheating, like spending more time with, what is her name?
I don't remember.
Right, the girl in
The girl. That girl that we don't even need to
That
know her
girl you
name.
work with, you know.
But I
Girl
thought
whose
that
name will not be said
yeah,
per
we don't
Paula's
need
request.
to. Don't need to say her name.
She who must not be named.
But I thought that you guys were gonna like, continue hanging out, because you're going to kind of, you know, like you're gonna need to fill the time with someone, because, you know, obviously your
Paula's getting
Paula's busy.
with law school and
missing your
pursuing her
shows,
dreams.
so you start depending on this woman, and then I thought you were going to get so close to cheating and then not, and then next episode you're like, I slept with her, and I was like, what?
I wasn't expecting
I wasn't
it
expecting
either.
that fast either, no.
Super
What's
fast.
great though about the parallels between Paula's relationship with Scott and what we see with Rebecca and Josh is kind of like the new and the one that's been chugging along the whole time, and you can see the difference between, say, working things out when you're freshly new in a relationship, and then working things out when you've been together for such a long time, plus 2 kids, plus a new
Tanya,
career change
sorry.
and things like that. You know,
Thank you.
Tanya!
Thank you, don't pug me. It's Tanya.
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 Thank you.
The home wrecker.
Tanya, Tanya.
The worst.
Was Tanya in a relationship too?
I don't know. We didn't get to know her that
We
well.
don't need to know her.
We don't need to know Tanya.
Well, I bet we'll see Tanya
She
again.
was
though.
she's a very talented actor.
Nice.
Is she on the?
She's not.
No, one of the people
Tanya.
watching it just let us know that that's her name.
Imagine if she was watching this right now and be like, she forgot my name.
My
They
name's
forgot my name.
Tanya.
She and George should get together.
I like this George.
Oh,
I mean,
George.
George is coming up in just a couple of minutes here, but let's get into the devil winds here. The Santa Ana winds that we experience quite a lot here in California. Well, I do. I don't know about you guys. From where I am, I get the winds quite a lot.
Yes.
And it's as devilish as it's portrayed here in this episode, to be
Yeah.
really honest, okay?
You have a guy that walks out in the street and starts singing?
That's me.
It's Nino.
And it gets in the way of people's behaviors and
I'm the narrator. I'm walking down the street and I'm
Basically,
singing.
have weird sex
Exactly. The weirdest, craziest dreams happen during those times. I can't attest to that, but I can attest to the craziness of what you guys saw there.
I definitely think I know the allergy part. That part I know.
The allergy part, I could definitely attest to that. But like that whole scene there was just fun to watch, nonetheless.
Me as a Broadway lover, just really appreciated the Jersey Boys throw. And we looked it up. The guy Eric, right? What's his
Eric
name?
Michael Roy.
Yeah,
Who plays Gavin?
He was in Jersey Boys on Broadway, not in the original, but he was on Broadway.
Right.
So
That's really
Casting.
cool.
Wow.
Dang.
And I met.
he was in the movie.
I did the movie. I was DJ Barry Belson in the Clint Eastwood movie, and I got
Look at
I
this,
had the
We came full
pleasure
circle.
of meeting Frankie Valli on set.
That is awesome. Wow.
So did he do a good job from what you met Frankie Valli? Did he embody him well in this?
I didn't. Frankie Valli was more subdued and not singing. So I wouldn't be able to, speak to that. But this Eric Michael Roy, I wasn't in any scenes with him, but I just had to look him up because he's so phenomenal. I mean, he's just great.
That was great. That whole scene was shot really great too. With
I
the
really
cars and the wind in
enjoy
the park.
that they kept the song going throughout, because I think if it had been a one-off song, it would have been a little bit.
Needed that through
But
line.
because it kept
Agreed.
continuing, kept recircling back, it became funnier and funnier.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
It tied
Theme of the
whole-
episode.
Right. It tied the whole storyline together, and he was there basically playing the devil's part.
Yeah.
Basically,
Especially
right?
when did he call her a B word?
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah.
He brought back her song.
Right.
You ruined everything, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could say it.
She said it on the FCW, let her say it.
We could say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. So the devil's wind was going around Santa Ana, and then we get these dreams that were happening. So you have Rebecca and Nathaniel, that dream that was hot and heavy that she appreciated, and Nathaniel was like,
Nathaniel did not
I don't know. What's
Ew.
wrong with that? You know,
I think its exact word was ew.
ill, basically. And then Karen had her dream, and then you had Paula's dream about Daryl. And the oil painting.
It's the weirdest dream to have.
The best writing because it just comes out of left field.
Yeah,
and you're
totally.
like, what?
I can only
right.
just imagine, like, Pete Garner sitting in that coffin.
Holding
Yeah, that was funny. The
Like, this is
picture
what
of
I'm
him
gonna have you do today on set. I need you to get in this coffin.
I'm just telling you, the way they think, the way that the thought process of writing. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know that Rebecca sometimes, or Rebecca, I call her Rebecca, look at that, Rachel sometimes.
I do that too.
Rachel sometimes still writing in between scenes and still working in between scenes for new episodes or whatnot. Have you seen her in that type of mode before?
She has several clones that walk around.
Ah, about to ask.
To
Okay.
be honest, I don't know how she does it, considering the degree to which she's both writing and in the show and performing. She's just a powerhouse of magic.
Because your
I just
schedules are
can't-
pretty quick, right?
Yeah, we move, and so for her to get all that done,
Right.
and to get it done with such quality and comedy, like she's
So good.
amazing. I'm convinced there are probably 4 or 5 of Rebecca Bunches.
I agree.
Rachel
If one of
Brooks.
those clones could come on the show,
Right.
Rachel,
Come
we
on
would love to
in.
have you here. Just throwing it out there, like you said earlier. Just
Season
putting it out to
finale.
reality.
No.
Not there.
Putting it out there.
She won't be able to come on. I have news later that I'll tell that's why she wouldn't be able to come on for the season finale.
Oh, okay.
When we get to the news section.
We'll get to the news section. I can't wait for that. Okay. So Paula, because of the dream that she's had, starts to feel bad about Daryl and wants to connect with him and say, you know
She
what, Daryl?
should have felt bad about Daryl.
A long
She's mean
time
to
ago.
him.
I appreciate
Poor
you.
Daryl.
But she's going through stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she
so's
has issues at
Daryl.
the
No one
moment.
cares about that.
Daryl has his boyfriend. He's okay.
Whatever.
We haven't seen White Josh in
I know, I
forever.
miss White
Daryl has gone through many things, and no one has been there for him. Okay.
No one's been there for George.
Okay. Yeah.
You're there for him.
I'm there for you, Daryl.
It went full circle. He was being mean to his assistant, and
He
then
was.
now Paula's being mean to him.
But she was mean to him
No,
before
she's-
too.
Yeah,
she's always
he
been
gets-
consistently mean to him.
He's
And
the
then he
butt
was
of the
lashing
jokes.
out.
But you see that he still doesn't care. He still wants to be a part of her life nonetheless, and wants to set up a dinner.
I mean, it's true what he said. Like, he is probably one of the best people to help her with this because he himself has gone through it.
Right.
Yeah.
in his choice of words could have been better when he was explaining it to Paula.
Well, Daryl,
right.
Daryl needs to think.
Genitals taking a walk around the block.
Daryl needs to think a little bit, maybe say it in his head a couple times before he speaks it out loud. But
definitely. But he comes from the heart, you know.
He does.
He comes from the heart. He wants to have dinner, and he thought about this. Although he felt like he stepped over, you know, a boundary, you know, that they might have had by bringing, you know, Scott in to the dinner to talk to Paula. I still felt like it was like a really great thing to think of, because he knows deep down inside Paula definitely misses Scott. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that scene really quick there. I loved how you got there, and you were. I knew. We all know we want you guys together. We wanted you guys together at the end, and we were hoping that it was going to happen, especially with all the things you've been through from last season and whatnot to this season. What did you think your character was gonna, before even seeing the script or reading to that far out? Did you think you guys were gonna get back together?
I don't really think about it.
You just
I think, like Scott, I think I just do stuff and not a lot of thought. And as the actor too, like, I just show up where they tell me to go, and I'm grateful to be there, and so
because that's a nerve-wracking
there was early indication he would return.
Okay, because that's a nerve-wracking part, especially as being an actor. If we get into that situation, when you're on a show and you know you're there regularly in a sense, and you're just waiting for that script to come up to see if you're still going to be there.
Absolutely.
It's like how I feel like how anyone on Game of Thrones or Walking Dead must feel every time.
Right.
Am I gonna get
You're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I will say that just in spite of that feeling of vulnerability, the crew and the cast and the producers and writers, there's such warmth there. It's like a family on the set, and you're given permission to really play. The directors that I've worked with on it, without fail, give the actors permission to just play. Really? Okay. And it's very low pressure, and so, in spite of the vulnerability, which just comes with the territory, right? I just thoroughly value the warmth that I feel on the set from the cast and crew.
That's kind of been like what everyone said when they've come on here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it's not the norm in Hollywood. Definitely. Often, you know, and I've done a lot of commercials. I'll tell you, you wouldn't know this or think this, but commercial sets, there's tensions typically run very high, and there's a lot more egos.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of the people that I appreciate working the most with, who by every stretch of the imagination has every right to have a swagger when he walks and throw a lot of attitude around, but who doesn't, is Clint Eastwood. Oh, Clint Eastwood is class through and through. He's a whisper on the set. Right. And he's hires people and he gets out of their way. Kind of a very much a laissez-faire approach. He knows his people are good, and he lets by him stepping back, the best versions of his crew and cast step forward, and it's just a really poetic experience. I've done three with him, and invariably he's a whisper. And he
at Warner Brothers, we like to call him the unicorn, because when you see him, it's very, very seldom when you see him like out and about around the lot or whatnot. You know what I mean? But it's a presence when you see him, you're like, it's Clint Eastwood.
I've always
a mythical figure.
I've always thought that people that have long-lasting careers in Hollywood are the genuine and good people. Like, I feel like people that aren't that way may have a career for like 5 or 10 years, but they're going to get thrown out eventually.
Let's talk about his career,
people will get their number. And so anyway, the Clint Eastwood thing, that was my way of saying that there's a feeling on the set of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend that is similar to that experience, in that people are casual and so warm and inviting, and there's a diversity. I mean, the cast represents a cross section of society. There's all the goofballs, you know, but also every type you can think of, and that's what I love about it.
And we love that because we talk about diversity in casting all the time, and the way they cast this is amazing.
To jut in really fast, Jim Jam said, can't remember with Scott did Scott have a musical number before? We talked about this a little bit before the show because you've done your barbershop quartet.
Right.
But we have not had a full musical number, and we would love one.
Yeah, we talked about
this
before.
If the writers are watching, I think Paula and him could have a great duet.
That would be nice.
Amazing.
Let's make it happen. Season 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening.
We'll just
watching.
add it more onto your IMDb list. Over 150 plus television shows and movies that you've had roles in. That's amazing, guys, right?
Yeah, that is
That's
longevity.
Longevity, all great. And then we're glad this is coming to season 3, so maybe we can see that song from you.
Bringing it back to what we were talking about before, though, I did think that he was definitely going to make it back, just because it would be a little hypocritical of Paula not to, because she almost had an affair as well.
Right.
And she mentioned it this episode. Had he not cried, she might have gone through with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if Paula's the type of person that she would have told Scott that she had.
Probably not.
You don't think she would have?
I don't know. I
Not
really
that
don't know.
quick, probably.
Not as quick as he
He
has
did.
said it.
Yeah, at least he was
Mm-hmm.
standing up about it. At least he was like,
Right.
I did this right away.
Only reason why I think she wouldn't do it as quick is because she has Rebecca by her side.
Yeah.
Double.
Then just forget about it. Pretend it
Yeah.
never happened. It's fine.
Right.
It's cool.
You sound just like her. You sound just like her. But let's get into Rebecca and Nathaniel. And the
All
elevator.
about it.
After Paula had said, do not get yourself in any small, tight spaces.
Could have taken the stairs.
But I already knew in my head, I was like, this is forecasting an elevator scene. This
Right.
is
Oh, right,
forecasting an
right.
elevator scene. There's wind, so the electricity's going to go out. And what happens? The electricity goes out, then they're stuck.
Because the Santa Ana wins a trick.
Exactly.
I would love to be stuck in an elevator with them.
Yeah, you would.
Talking about Harry Potter.
Talking about Harry
I
Potter.
love that they talked about Harry Potter. It was like such a redeeming. I really don't want to like Nathaniel, but that was a redeeming thing for me. Plus, I'm a Slytherin as well.
Are you?
I am. Slytherins are not all evil, okay?
I think everyone
We're
has a
just
little Slytherin
ambitious
in
people.
them. No, I think everyone has. Angelina Jolie's a Slytherin. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think everyone is. She's come to Warner Brothers before. She's got sorted by the hat. I'm just saying. That's the only reason why.
Mine's on
Why do you
Pottermore.
know-
I didn't get a hat sorting.
We're not friends in real life here. In my head, we might.
Me and Angelina. She's a Slytherin.
So at Warner Brothers, she got sorted. She's a Slytherin. I'm half a Slytherin and half a Gryffindor. So
Oh.
there's a little bit of a, balance right
I
there.
was Pottermore. I didn't have the actual hat on
You're
my
a
head.
Pottermore. Gotcha.
I don't know what I am.
It's okay. We'll find out soon. Don't worry about it. We'll take
She's a
We'll
Hufflepuff,
take a
I've
quiz
heard,
later on. We'll take a quiz later. But I find that cool that they were talking about that because it's a CW production, right? So it's a joint venture between Warner Brothers and CBS here. So that connection right over there, just from knowing that, was pretty cool to kind of see that they kept on talking about that throughout the whole time. But that also humanized Nathaniel there, where he seemed like a regular person, not much of a robot anymore.
It seemed like it humanized him, but it seemed like it was more so one of his plots to get in them draws.
So here comes
Calculated.
the other side.
Sure.
From the other side of the table.
Yeah,
like
he
Dr.
was
Love
like,
here.
I just basically just have to talk about something she may be interested in,
He
and
trying
then,
to slither into
then
his
I
way
can
in.
slither in.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if him being a Harry Potter fan really makes up for the song he's sang where he's just calling her fat and everything the entire time, but
To her, it almost worked. But they
because
almost...
she wants the goosebumps.
She wants the goosies, right. She doesn't need the goosies. But let's talk about George really quick, though. Because George had his moment and his shine.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, George stood by there and was like, I could help you, but you're gonna have to say my name. He even gave a hint. He gave
Right.
a hint, guys. Yet they still couldn't do it.
I knew from the exact moment that he said that, I was like, he's gonna get fired now. Like, why would you tell your boss? Like, nope, I'm not letting you out because you can't say my name. Like, why would you do that?
I feel like they're gonna rehire
on,
him again.
George.
I know, right? Bad decisions.
Or he'll just stay at the office, but people will just forget him again, so they'll be like, oh yeah, whatever.
They're gonna
Yeah,
forget
right.
to take him off payroll because they don't remember his name.
Guys,
That's
you know what I really wanted to happen? When Nathaniel finally says George, and then he's like, you know my name? I so wanted Nathaniel to be like, yeah, I knew it the whole time or something, because he wanted to stay in the elevator with Rebecca. I was
right. Yeah,
I
that
was
would've-
so hoping for that.
I love that.
Right? He wanted to get it in, so I was like, this is my chance.
Yeah, so just bail on George and accidentally on purpose forget his name.
But that's
who
kind
are
of
you?
scary because, in reality, you don't know how long, and it is the weekend. No one's coming back to the office
Yeah.
until
Right.
Monday. You could be stuck in there for a very long time.
Right, because
that
Daryl and
would've
Paula
been
were out
crazy.
having dinner, getting Scott in there to make sure that they could try to make up or whatnot. But that didn't happen. Everything was just
And they had no cell phone reception.
They had no cell phone reception.
Like, I would hope Josh would be at least want to like find out where his fiance is, but you know maybe his
But he's drowned in
allergies.
allergy
He's
medicine.
Oh, right.
Knocked
Yeah, he's out with his allergies.
Conveniently knocked out.
So apparently, look like they were there for most of the night at that time. Or
All
whatnot.
night, right?
All night.
Yeah,
for
they
the
didn't
most
give us
part.
a like time that they left, but she said
No.
we've been here all night.
So
So that
they-
could be like 9, 10. That could be midnight. That could be in the morning. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, but they were talking. Tensions got high. They were almost gonna kiss, and then they
I
did
was almost
kiss.
spot on with my prediction because my prediction was that they were gonna almost kiss, and then the elevator doors were gonna open, and they almost kissed, and the elevator turned back on. And then,
It's close.
and then they still kissed. But
Once again.
I thought that the elevators were going to open, and then Rebecca was going to have to be like, oh, I almost kissed him. What does this mean? But then she still kissed him.
Once again, our predictions with the infidelity. On point.
Yeah.
On point here. But when she did say that, I did write down when I was watching it on my computer. And right when it happened, I was like, Rebecca, no! I have like 6 O's here when I wrote that because I was like, no, she can't do this. It was just so perfect.
We
but I
have
knew
Jim
it was gonna
Jam
happen.
quoting George and everything. Like,
What do you say?
to be called by one's name is one of the rights George Washington fought for.
Yeah.
was a hint.
George Washington fought for.
Right.
That was the
Is
hint.
his name Washington?
I love that. Washington. Because that's the sensible name to go to of the two.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Washington.
Washington.
and
sure.
with all that happening, basically, Rebecca feels guilty really quick, super guilty really quick. And once again, here's Rebecca throwing away money. She gets home, she tries to find out who's booked for the venue. 2 weeks out, she finds somebody that is about to get married in 2 weeks, pays off that person to basically say, I want your wedding date.
Because
and went from
again,
Josh.
like last week, how we said the best way to end a weekend of fighting is to get engaged. The best way to end infidelity of some sort
Is to
and
get
of these
married?
questionable feelings is to rush the wedding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes the most sense.
Sure.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
the
how
healthiest thing you can do.
She's
Totally.
very impulsive.
I saw this twinkle in Josh's eye, was like, no, this is way too crazy. I don't think I'm going to do this. And I thought he was going to say no, but then I thought again,
He
it's
said he was
Josh.
gonna say no until she's like, I'll do it all myself, and then he's like, I don't gotta do anything.
Yeah, right.
And that happened, and they're about to get married in 2 weeks. We saw the previews later on, but before that, we see yourself, Scott, with Paula in the kitchen once again. But it's a very happy moment because you drop off the kids, you make the kids do their homework. You make the kids do their homework.
I'm suiting up and showing up as a dad.
He's
Yeah.
like, look what I can do.
Right.
Remember our
Right.
troublemaking kids that got in all this trouble? I got them to do their homework.
I almost didn't recognize them when they were coming through the door saying they did their homework.
That's what's cool about Paula and Scott is that sometimes when there are these obstacles,
Mhm.
if the people are humble and willing to grow, they can build a bridge where there would otherwise be a wall. And
Ooh.
Scott is showing up.
How deep? Yes.
You know,
But you showing up there and, her inviting you in for dinner made my heart warm. And I was
Oh, I
really happy with that.
know.
Even how you stepped in, I don't even know if you remember doing this. Even how you stepped into the kitchen, you slowly stepped in, and then one hand slowly came on the
and
counter.
I was like, I'm home.
and it was like, I'm home. Like, and then my sigh and anxiety of relief just was like,
Right. And it was like
My favorite
emotional.
line was when she's like, well, and the toilet's been clogged, making that
Right.
noise. So you're gonna have to put your hand in that. In the top toilet thing ASAP, and he's like, I put my hand in a dirty or full toilet for you or something like that. And she's like, yeah, you will.
It was like
That
some
was my
like
favorite.
tension being built up,
Right.
love,
Literally
and then-
tension.
right?
Tension.
well, that speaks to the messiness
Right.
of the love in a marriage versus the idealism in the love of some newlyweds and people dating.
exactly.
Right.
For
It's
all
the
our,
unflushed toilet metaphor.
exactly. For all our young millennials out there watching this, it's
Partnership.
basically what Instagram looks like and what real life looks like.
Right,
Right.
well,
exactly
well put. Well
what it
put.
is. That's exactly what it is.
But then it just goes to show that even so, like, if you're in a partnership and you really want it, if two parties really want it, or whoever doesn't have, like, pride, one person has to always be the person to let go of that pride. Even if they feel like they're not wrong. She didn't cheat, but she didn't want it to end. So she had to put her feelings to the side and think of the love in that moment.
I love what you just said.
What did I
you
say,
shared,
Dr. Love?
Because there's that saying from that old movie, love means never having to say you're sorry.
Yes.
I feel love means constantly saying you're sorry.
Yeah.
If you want to continue.
It's also a nice
It's
lesson.
just, it's real.
It's also a nice lesson, like, I mean, we already kind of talked about, but just humbling yourself and, like, not caring what everybody else in the world is thinking.
Right.
It's not about everybody else. It's about you.
Yeah,
Right.
Totally.
That's true.
I think so much more of people when they own their mistakes, and it tells me they don't place all of their self-worth in being right. It's like, oh, I screwed up. Speaking as someone who screws up routinely, I've adopted this outlook on being wrong. So.
Well, that was basically the episode. But one more thing. Daryl finally getting that best friend plug from Paula at the end.
You're
It was
my
great.
best friend, and I know you're
That
not
was
mine,
great.
and that's okay.
I know you were excited because you love when Daryl sings.
I love
It was like father-daughter, still giving me that father-daughter moment.
Minus the
too.
creepiness. that
Yeah,
was in his
it's like
first song.
he's like, that patriarchal
I also just
role.
love the ukulele.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Such a
kind of
cute
like,
song.
even the part where she was like kind of moving around and like you could see the joy in her face, like that. It was like, oh, like.
Once again, this edited so well here. It's been raining and pouring down here in California, and I'm just
what's the filter they put on it? Because it turned into like that darker,
Fuzzy.
I
yeah.
can't remember what that filter's called.
Renee, social
It's
media
not
queen
sepia.
here.
It's not an Instagram filter. I don't know.
But I do know
What
what
would
you're
be the
talking
closest?
It gives it like that nostalgic
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Almost.
Like a Mad Men-y kind of feel.
But it was like I was saying, it was a nice way
I
to
don't know.
end it. It felt even if it was dark, it still felt
Right.
bright to me. With all this
Yeah.
rain pouring down here in California, of
course, that's
and the
not the
flooding
ending,
that's
though. We
happening
get-
along, I liked it.
we get
I did. We get Karens.
Phone call.
Oh, right.
Phone call to her
You
man
get a
in
phone
jail.
call.
Oh my god.
And she has to choose between the
She's in
snake
the long jump, and then
man.
they do the love triangle reprise little thing there.
You gotta love that. The snake or her man.
What do you do when
do
you
you
have to
do?
choose between two men, especially when one's a snake?
They're both in little cages.
They're both little cages. You're right. That's true.
And you could technically call both of them a snake, depending on what he did.
Right.
I don't know why he's in jail,
That's
but
true.
Watch that unfold in
Lifetime
the next
sentence.
episodes next
I just want to
season.
meet Long John, so I just want him to come in.
And see.
Long John Slither.
Yeah. I just want to see what he looks like. Watch him just not even be a real snake. Watch it be like a drawing in a cage.
Knowing her and her character,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
that's
That
not
would be funny.
that's
snake.
not too far off.
Stuffed one. The stuffed snake.
That's not too far off. But can we get into news? Because I know you have some news
I do
here.
have some news. I forgot to bring my paper that I wrote it out on, so I found it online though.
Ooh,
AfterBuzz TV News.
I thought that was the weather outside.
So Rachel Bloom and Jerry O'Connell are going to be doing a concert coming up in February in New York for Crazy for You, which is a Broadway play. And she's going to be starring in it. It's a one-night performance. It's going to be on February 19th at 8 p.m. And you can buy tickets. Wait, I have the theater. You can buy tickets at thelincolncenter.org or by calling, I'm not going to write out the number, or by visiting the David Geffen Hall box office at 10 Lincoln Center Plaza.
So it's gonna be at the Lincoln Center.
Yes.
I'm trying
And
to
it's
plan
gonna
it.
be, it's they do these 25th anniversary concerts a lot. So this is for Crazy for You, which is a Gershwin play. So she's going to be starring in it.
That's
And I-
awesome. I wish it was in
Which
LA.
is why she will not be
I
here for
know.
the finale, because she probably is rehearsing
yeah.
in New York.
It's the finale.
Because she has a million things going on.
Okay,
But we
so
still
that's,
love if she could.
so that's after our finale here, though, right? That's
What?
after our finale here. I'm trying to plan a trip
It's-
to New York too between February and March. Maybe that's the time to go.
Maybe
okay.
that's the time to go. It is after our finale. Our finale is February 3rd.
Oh, we can make
So
this.
February 5th will be
I
our.
could bring AfterBuzz to her.
There you go.
Let's make this happen. We'll figure something out.
Do it.
Oh, well, let's get into predictions. We have a couple more minutes here, and we predict so well here on the show.
Your AfterBuzz TV
I don't know
predictions.
how much you know, but if I just want to read your face when we do our predictions to see if I can get anything out of you.
Okay.
But you
we
might have
won't
this great
press
poker
it.
face, so I don't know. So we'll see. Let's get into predictions and see what you think is going to happen with this crazy wedding and just everything in general for the last two episodes here. So Renee, I see you batting those lashes all this way here. What do you think?
I think Nathaniel's gonna actually start to like Rebecca. I think it's gonna
yes.
weird him out, but I think he's catching the feelings. He's like, "You like Harry Potter? I like Harry Potter. Why do I like the way you talk? Why do I like things about you? You're weird." But I think he's gonna fall for it a little bit. I think Josh is going to get very overwhelmed once maybe even at the altar, something crazy. I don't think he's ready for marriage. I think he needs to I think he's gonna take a step back and be like, whoa, 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 what's happening? Especially when she gets into crazy mode next episode with her wedding planning. Because you can't just plan a wedding in 2. I mean, maybe you can. Alone though.
I don't. It depends on the type of wedding. The type of wedding she wants, I don't think she can plan in 2 weeks.
Catalina wine mixer from Step Brothers.
Oh, right.
My prediction is that Nathaniel is going to become obsessive over Rebecca, because it was at one point, you know, when she told him she was getting married in 2 weeks, his whole like face was like you know, kind of like he would get really obsessive, like maybe start like stalking her more, or you know, because she doesn't like want him, he's gonna want her more. So piggybacking off of yours. Yeah.
Steve's face is just really good here. I can't tell anything right now. So I'm looking for my peripherals over this way, and you're
Just
doing
stay
really
that
well.
way while you predict.
I'm similar on your guys' paths. I do think that Nathaniel is going to be a little bit more involved because he got like a taste and she said no after that. But I think he's going to use her anxiety with the wedding planning and stuff to like, because Josh isn't helping her, maybe stepping in and trying to help her with the wedding, maybe.
Oh.
Nathaniel? That's because
And
he's
I
trying
do
to slither
think, and
in
I don't know
again.
if it's going to be next episode or the episode after, but I do think Valencia's going to come back and try to talk with Josh. I want to see them talk to
I
each
know.
other about
I miss
this.
her. I miss her.
And we do have some predictions in the chat.
What did they say before I get in here?
In the next episode, Josh is going to have Valencia flashbacks. That's from Flower Girl 444. Melissa and D says Dr. A is going to kidnap Bex.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. And then Jim Jam said that she said earlier, or sorry, I don't know if I'm sorry, Jim Jam, I don't know if you're a boy or girl, but said Josh wouldn't be married to Bex at the end of the season because it's ironic comedic show. And they said earlier that they think that Paula and Scott are going to use the wedding because it's going to get called off last minute, but they're going to have the venue and they're going to renew their marriage vows.
That's a good
Aw,
one.
that is
I
a
like
good
that.
one.
I really like that prediction.
Yeah.
I don't want to give mine now.
do you like that prediction?
Sounds good to me.
Someone also said Greg back, no, and the only reason I think is because they said he wasn't coming back in season 2. But I
Yeah.
do think he'll come back in
Season 3,
hopefully.
me too. Okay, so I kind of everything that you have said, I've all kind of. They're all looking at you now. Did you see this now? I'm looking at Renee right now. But everything you guys have said, I
You said the
definitely
Greg
agree.
thing, I'm like,
I definitely agree. I think though that you know how we say the crazy ex-girlfriend syndrome gets passed around different places and different
Yeah.
characters. I feel like Nathaniel's going to catch that syndrome just a little bit and be a little obsessive with that situation. I feel like they're not going to get married. There's no way they're going to get married. Josh is going
too easy.
to freak out. It's just too easy for that to happen. But then again, with their writing, sometimes we're just super surprised all the time. But I really want to say that they're not going to get married, and it's going to be sometime later on in the third season if it ever does happen. What?
Sorry, I just had a thought. What if like they're about to get married and then Nathaniel steps up and be like, I don't know if she should get married because she kissed me, and like then Josh is like,
Is he that dirty? He
could be.
He could be.
He gets
Could
drunk.
be.
He
He
gets
could
like
be.
sloppy drunk at all.
like Greg. Why at every wedding does that have to get sloppy drunk person?
and I want to like attach to what you had said when that he's going to help with the wedding. Imagine if he does help with the wedding, basically just to kind of get in the situation
Just to
that is
sneak his way
Rebecca.
in.
Slither in his way in. I keep on saying that, it's so cheesy. But to sneak his way in, basically, to Rebecca, and something's going to happen, and Josh is going to find out like how Valencia found out that they kissed. Same feelings, basically. Kind of just another full circle type situation again.
And then Valencia and Josh will get back together.
No, I don't want that to happen.
He'll be like, you see what
Nah,
happened
nah.
when you left me?
Yeah, no.
This is what happens.
No, she
Yeah.
needs to move on because
10
like
years?
10 years of waiting for him and
Yeah.
him doing this for another girl within like a month. Like,
Yeah.
no, she can do better.
I
Full
cannot wait to
circle
see her
comeback.
But I
react.
miss
to each other.
Valencia. I miss Valencia.
Same.
It was great to have her on when she wasn't here too. Gabrielle was
Yeah,
great.
she was awesome.
But that is our show, folks. I'm gonna call Scott again, Steve.
This is what they do with the show. Rachel,
Well, you were-
Rebecca, Steve, Scott.
You were Steve and sister too, so that must have been easier
That's right,
for you.
yeah.
That must have been easier for you. Steve, is there anything else that you wanted to throw out there about what you've been doing? I know the psychotherapist thing. You just got licensed recently and all that stuff. What can we expect more from you before we head on out here?
You can see me in a movie called Suburbicon.
Yes,
The Coen Brothers movie directed by George Clooney, coming out this year. Other than that, my therapy practice is up and running, and it's I have about one spot left
That is
for
crazy.
anybody who wants to come in and and talk to this clown, to Scott.
To talk to Scott.
But
guys.
other than that, I just want to again express my gratitude to you guys for having me.
No,
here.
thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
to
much.
Brian.
Thank you.
This is so much
Thank you
fun.
We
so
always have so
much.
much fun when all the guests come on. We love
Yeah.
it.
We definitely did. I was really
So feel
excited
free
for
to
this
come
one.
back next season.
I would be honored. Thank you
Perfect.
so
Oh,
much.
guys. Well, thank you so much, guys, for always tuning in. And once again, you know, it is the Nino Llanera. You can catch me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Hit me up. Let's talk. I want to talk more about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Let's get deeper into the situation. And Briana, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at bphipps14 on Twitter and Instagram, and also on Popcorn Talk Network, one of our sister networks. I have my show Broadway Breakdown. We did it earlier today. We talked Hedwig and the Angry Inch, so check that out.
Nice. Trene, what's going on with you here?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at your girl Trene.
And social media queen, Renee.
You guys can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram and on Twitter.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Only 2 more episodes, guys. That's it for the season. Let's go.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.